Call the meeting to order. Roll call of Alderman.
Heisler.
Here.
Kinsella.
Here.
Meyer. Here. Holt. Here. Anderson.
Here.
Rudowitz.
Here.
Carpenter.
Here.
Hart.
Here.
Silsby.
Here.
Hayden.
Here.
Seibert.
Here.
Martinson.
Here.
Elmore.
Here.
Schneider. Here. Musgrove.
Here.
Arlen.
Here. All the aldermen are present. Roll call department heads.
Police Chief Clay. Fire Chief Langston.
Here.
Mike Flynn.
Here.
Ken Vaughn.
Here.
Royce Carlisle.
Here.
Jamie Mitchell. Tim Gregowitz.
Here.
Jim Schneider.
Here.
Leander Spearman.
Here.
Emily Foltz. Chuck Schaefer. Bob Sabo.
Here. Emily Foltz, Chuck Schaefer, and Chief Clay are excused. I think that's all of them, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, before we go any further, would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening, we have a number of guests from our local schools. You'll get to meet several of these young gentlemen from Belleville West and Belleville Altoff and hear about their accomplishments in just a minute pertaining to their wrestling success this year at state, and that's pretty exciting. I also want to announce that we have Travis Allman from Scott Air Force Base Boy Scout Troop here. His mother Kathy is here this evening. His father is our good friend and base commander of the 375th, and he's working on citizenship in the community, and he's a first-class scout, so we're glad you're here, Travis. At this time, as we do the beginning of each month, the City of Belleville recognizes, along with our schools and many of our businesses, the character word of the month. This month's word is cooperation, meaning working together in a peaceful way. You'll see this throughout the community many times on various billboards or marquees, I should say, schools and banks and all kinds of places. But I think it's an excellent reminder to all of us, these character words. At this time, I want to begin this evening, and we've had some great successes over the years. I can remember my earliest memory of a state championship team that fought was probably when I was about 10 years old, and Coach Turner at that time brought the boys back with just missing first place in state from Belleville West back in the day, and they came in on a fire truck, and it was quite my first memory of a state accomplishment from a high school team in my memories. That was 1966, right, Coach? Well, fortunately, the last several years, we've had a number of situations. This summer, we were back out, or this fall, we were back out at Altoff when the boys won, or got second in state in football. And we, because it was right away instantly, and there was a large group of them, we managed to get them on the fire trucks and took a little ride downtown before they had a pep rally at the school. And we've done that with the girls' soccer. We've done that with several of the teams. And we're very blessed to have not only some outstanding students, but some outstanding athletes. Gabby Ridgewitz, one of our aldermen, came to me several weeks ago and said, Mayor, we had 5 state winners this year from West and Altoff in wrestling. And I think that's quite an accomplishment. So tonight, in no particular reason other than the way it ended up here on my thing, I'm going to first call up the 3 young men from Belleville West forward, and also their coach, Al Sears. And I'm going to present the 3 of these gentlemen first and introduce them with their accomplishments this year. Come on up, turn around and face the crowd right here. Coach? The first one, well, we'll start backwards here. Okay. Tremont's first. We'll go with him first. Tremont Davis. I think that was Tremont Davis. City of Belleville, Certificate of Appreciation awarded to Tremont Davis in recognition of Outstanding Representation of Belleville West High School at the 2013 IHSA State Championship. Tremont, you told me before, but you're a junior? Senior. And what did you win this year at state?
Fifth.
Fifth place at state competition. Been wrestling quite a few years?
That's freshman.
Pretty exciting to win state, win place at state, right? Yes, sir. Congratulations. We're really proud of you. Nate Higgins. We know his great-grandfather, he's here, so we know he's pretty excited. This City of Belleville Certificate of Appreciation awarded to Nate Higgins in recognition of your outstanding representation of Belleville West High School in the City of Belleville at this year's 2013 IHSA State Championship. You placed third place. And what year you're? Junior. So you still got a year to go for West.
Yeah.
We congratulate you. Keep up the good work. This young man here has got quite a story. Meach Spraggins is a senior. And you were telling me that you have been at state all 4 years? And this year you are number one in state as a wrestler. What's the weight? 138 pounds. I wasn't 138 pounds, I was in 5th grade. Boy. This is outstanding, Meach, and I know your coach and I were talking a little bit. I know all these young men have quite a bit of family here tonight, and that's awesome, because we all know you don't get to state in these places without a lot of support. Coaches, principal, Rich Mertens, thanks for being here this evening, Belleville West principal, and family. And I just want to say congratulations to you. That's quite an accomplishment. It looks like you might be going to Arizona State as a wrestler. Pleasure here. Young gentleman from Alto, please come on up. Thank you, Alex. Names. Alto High School has been, since I've been mayor, on quite a few of these different state adventures. And Principal Dave Harris here has been excellent to work with as we have tried to celebrate with them and recognize the talent at Alto Catholic High School. And I know Dave was a wrestler back in the day, and he also still helps coach with the team. So this young gentleman here, the first recipient tonight from Alto, City of Belleville's Certificate of Appreciation to Jared Bronagel, and you are a freshman, and you placed third in state as a freshman. This is in recognition of your outstanding representation of Alto Catholic High School at the 2013 IHSA State Championship. Very proud of you. Every year, that would be quite an accomplishment to see that in a couple of years. We look forward to having you back here. And Mr. Harris, I've seen this guy a lot of different times. He's been in basic. He's been all over the place. You play football too. I thought I said you're on the fire truck with it that day. Michael Harris, as a senior now, has had a lot of successes for a young man. And Michael, we present to you this appreciation certificate for your outstanding performance, and you've got fourth place. Okay, fourth place. And this is your last year for wrestling at Alto. Well, outstanding, and like I said, he has been a recipient and on teams that have done this several times. So what perseverance and what example setting you have done. Congratulations. We're very proud of you. Well, that's refreshing, and it's a nice way to start out the evening's meeting. And also, the other nice thing to know is, as you look around at our schools, we have so much academic talent as well. It's just we're very fortunate with our schools here in Belleville, and it's great to celebrate with them. Okay, at this time, we will move on to public participation. And I will open it up. Please step up to the microphone after you're recognized. Please keep your comments to 2 to 3 minutes. And I'll start now, whoever would like to. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'd just like to say that what a great job the street department did during the snow. One of the records goes off the street. Got nothing but compliment from everybody. They did a great job.
I agree with you. I agree, and I think Mike Parks isn't here tonight. Chuck comes back tomorrow after vacation, and I thought they did an excellent job. That was a pretty challenging snow. We had about 9 to 10 inches in most places in Belleville, and I thought I had a lot of compliments. A lot of happy callers this time. That was nice to hear. Good point. Okay, we'll open up public participation. Is anyone this evening interested in speaking to the council? Yes, sir.
Michael Hackberg, 701 Centerville. At last Thursday's zoning board of review, nobody from the cottages and cathedral was present to answer questions. I wanted to know why the project had been scaled back from the entire block to just over half a block. And Emily corrected it, stating that there was an error on the application, and it will be using about 3/4 of the block that they're planned on building out. I couldn't ask what the time frame of this project was. I remember we discussed it a couple of years ago. And I'd also like to know if anybody had contacted the city about utilities. We're currently going to be digging up, if they're going to have to dig up South First Street and we're going to repave it, I'd like to see that it gets dug up and utilities stubbed in before we spend a lot of money on a street and then have somebody hit it with a backhoe. And the last question was that the chairman stated that all these were going to be on the board on the April 15th city council. Yeah, I noticed that this one's on this evening. No reason why. Next
There's a reason. I'll explain after a while.
Okay. I FOIA'd all documents having to do with the East 10 Washington Street sidewalk. I received 2 letters from the state to the city of Belleville. They stated that a variance cannot be granted by the state of Illinois because ADA is a federal law, and that the final payment for the grant will be withheld until that sidewalk is corrected. I first brought this to your attention last June. I was told that it would be corrected before September. Again, I questioned in December, and now it's April. When, if ever, will this sidewalk be corrected?
I think I told you, Mr. A.
Is the city jeopardizing future state-funded projects by not complying with ADA rules? Thank you.
I'll be happy to answer that. We have communicated with IDOT. IDOT and this particular family are working on a design that they all agree on. I told you that recently. The engineer that the family has hired to look at this is working on it. IDOT is totally happy with that. At first, IDOT thought there might have been an alternative solution. Obviously, you didn't know, you were in those meetings. But I think they're making progress. And as long as IDOT's happy, we're okay. And as far as closing out those projects, as Tim will tell you, those final projects don't normally get closed out, the final payment for some time anyway, because it's just the way their paperwork and stuff goes. But it is being worked on, it is being, it's moving forward, and it's not being swept under the rug. There's nothing wrongdoing going on here, and the family is dealing with IDOT and the engineer. So, correct, Tim?
Yes.
All right. Anyone else this evening on public participation? Yes, sir.
Rick Brown, 618 South Pennsylvania Avenue, Belleville. You know, I've lived in Belleville a lot of years, since the probably 67 or 68. You know, Belleville has got 99% of the employees that work here are great people. I know a lot of them. They do good work. They go over and above and beyond what they need to do for the city. You know, we've got some problems in the city, and they don't ever seem to get resolved. Now, I've got a couple of comments to make, but I want to say right from the beginning that these comments are not aimed at the city employees, at any of the independent aldermen, and most of the other aldermen are not aimed at. They're not aimed at Mr. Turner or Mrs. Fields. Okay? Today, Congressman Enyart's office received a letter, and I'd like to read it to you. To the Honorable Congressman William Enyart, I am requesting that a formal congressional request be made to the Justice Department, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The systemic racial discrimination that is going on in the city of Belleville has to be stopped. This commenced within months of the signing of the consent decree in 1995. I would like to meet with you at your earliest convenience to discuss these matters. I have extensive documentation that would better explain the injustices that seem to be continually occurring. Rick Brown. Now, I plan on meeting with him, and I plan on him to get with the authorities, and there be a formal investigation. And I would hope Mayor and City Attorney, and maybe the former Mayor and City Attorney, will sit down and use your word of the month and cooperate with the authorities. Thank you.
Anyone else this evening? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is John Steinloggy, and I'd like to correct something, Mayor.
John, could you give your address?
That's what I was going to ask you, give my address, but you didn't say, give me your address where you live.
Okay, I'm sorry, my fault.
No, it's not your fault. I mean, I live in Smithton, but I have business in Belleville. Now, the reason I live in Smithton is because that's where my wife lives. And I live with my wife because I'm a kept man. So you live where your keeper is, right or wrong. But I'm from Belleville. I've been associated with Belleville for over 60 years. A lot of you here weren't even alive then. Mr. Mayor, when I opened my business here in Belleville, you were 20. The two people who were running for mayor, they were 12. Now what the hell do they know about business? The other thing is, this little article in the paper, it comes about the TIF money that went to Wagner Buick. Well, I talked to Rusty Wagner, and Rusty Wagner said anytime the mayor and anybody wants to know about it, call him up. He'd be more than happy to meet at Jay Tevy's office and sit down and discuss the whole TIF deal. The other one is tax dollars at work. Bellevillians who are concerned about Belleville Mayor Ecker's cavalier spending habits should drive down West Main Street and observe the parking lot between South 9th and South 10th Street. This costs many hundreds of thousands of dollars and is generally empty. Send Eckert a message on election day. Well, you know, like I said, these young whippersnappers, they don't understand what was across the street 10, 15 years ago. There was an abandoned service station, gas pumps. The place was a total wreck. We policed the parking lot to keep it at least clean. I couldn't do anything about the rats that run around the building that were the size of my arm. I got the telephone company to take out the payphones and stop the drugs deals. I did everything I possibly could. Now, the whole thing about that property, it was a brownfield. There was about $400,000 needed to turn this into a building lot. Now, who's going to spend $400,000 to buy a piece of property over there that at the most is, useless with the brownfield? It doesn't make any sense. So the city came along, tore down the old station, and put in a nice parking lot. Now, did it benefit me? Yes. My business during the day went up 20%. However, after 37 years of being there, I feel like I paid some of it back in taxes to the city of Belleville. Now, I didn't know that was going to be a parking lot. When they started tearing things down, I called the alderman, whoever it was at the time, I don't remember, and they said, oh, they're going to put a parking lot in there. Well, I didn't have anything to do with it. I never talked to Mayor Eckert. I never talked to Mayor Kern. And the mayor before them, I didn't talk to at all. So, then there's stuff of saying that Belleville is deteriorating. Belleville is not necessarily deteriorating. What it needs is more people to stand up and do their job when they see something that is wrong. The police department does a good job. Chief Langston does a good job. And so why be a naysayer? Let's talk good about Belleville. The News Democrat beats us up all the time. I'm calling them all the time. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, anyone else this evening? Yes, sir.
Hey, political announcement.
How you doing today? Kevin Pills, 25 South 35th Street, Belleville. Love coming to these city council meetings. Like to see y'all. Hope y'all had a happy Easter. I just came to talk about me and who I am today, and just say how much I love the city of Belleville and how it has shaped me to be who I am today. Now, who I am today is the same person I was yesterday and 3 years ago. People see me, they always say I'm the same person. And I would just start it off by saying that when I was 18, I was sitting in the kitchen with my father and a friend of his, and we were going over an application that I received from a college. It was St. Louis Christian Academy, and they had given me a 4-year scholarship. And my father, he was ragging me about how I didn't send in a letter of intent. And he was like, why didn't you apply for this school? And he was giving me a hard time. And his friend said, oh, Kevin, your son don't want to go to college. He's a thug. And my dad said, no, he's not a thug. He's just misunderstood. My son's a good kid. But in actuality, I was a thug. I had a shirt, or a t-shirt, it said KP the Thug, and everybody called me KP the Thug. And that's who I was, that's who I've always been. But the one thing was, I never let people dictate who I was or say who I was. I went to work, every day I work hard. I have 3 children who I'm very proud of. They go to school at Whiteside. And I never let what these guys out here do on TV dictate who I am. I'm proud of myself because I made a turn. And I didn't say, because these guys sell drugs, I'm going to sell drugs. And because these guys hurt people, I'm going to hurt people. Because, see, I was born a thug, a gangster. I was born into a life. I was raised to be a terrorist. I was raised to know that people hate me. People hate who I am. So I must hide who I am in order to succeed in life. Well, once I succeeded in life to the point where I felt success, I'm proud of myself and who I am, because you know what? I can look out today and say, I am a thug, but I am not a bad person. And there's a lot of bad people out here, misrepresentation of what it means to be a thug, be a gangster. And that's not what it's about. It's not about destruction. It's about being productive. And these guys in these communities, they're destroying the community. And it's being allowed. These guys are being allowed to destroy the community. And I won't stand for it. And until we come up with a way to give these guys options, because they're going to turn for the worse. And until we have a way to stop this, this is the decay that is happening in Belleville. Not just in Belleville, but in America. These guys are being allowed to be terrorists. While we're fighting the road away from here, we need to fight the fight here. And it starts right here in Belleville. There's an article in the Monitor on Thursday. It's called Get Them Out of Belleville. And it shows how since 1995, the multifamily dwellings in Belleville have declined over 90%. And this is why. They saying that the poor people bring in the violence, but really the poor people are coming to Belleville to escape the violence. And they're really being phased out of Belleville and forced back into the violence. So it's really a lot of stereotypes going on. It's not just in Belleville, it's everywhere.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else this evening? Hearing none, I will close public participation. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Yes.
Everybody hear me? Good evening. My name is Jake Norman, and I'm a non-Belleville resident, St. Louis City resident, but I am the sales executive for Benefit Administrative Systems, or otherwise known as BAS. We've been in charge of administering your healthcare plan for the past 5 years, and I understand that tonight you'll be voting on potentially making the move from BAS to another TPA called IPMG. A couple things I'd like for you to consider before making this vote. First, to understand the why that the proposal is being put in front of you today. It's not because BAS has done a bad job. In fact, I've gotten that feedback from the mayor and also your broker consultants, that BAS has done an exceptional job in service the past 5 years and also keeping your costs down. So that's really not, that's not the subject here. But rather than, it's a product that IPMG has that basically combines the workers' comp into the medical benefits payment. So it's a bundled product designed to prevent and to catch work comp claims fraud. Okay. Now, I'm also not saying that that's a bad product. However, what I am saying is that the savings regarding this product and what will be realized in savings is unknown. It could be zero, it could be $100,000, we don't know. But here's what I do know, that the associated cost with moving your benefits from one TPA to another can get expensive. I also know that there will be disruption involved with the city employees. Now, whether it's BAS, whether it's IPMG, whether it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, anytime you're going to move the benefit plan, there will be disruption. All we can do on our end is hope to minimize that, but there will be disruption. So what I'm asking you to consider is making the move this year to IPMG for this product. Is that, and that potential savings, the unknown savings, is that worth the disruption and the additional cost to the city? Thank you very much, and I truly appreciate your listening for the past 5 years. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go back and close public participation, and I'm going to go into the regular meeting. There was one other question we had, in regards to the question raised about Cathedral. Bill, do you want to answer any of that now while we...
I can.
If you want to. I mean, there was a miscue on the zoning board. He apologized, called. He didn't get here that night. We had a mistake on his itinerary. But Bill's here representing Cathedral. It is true that the scope changed a little bit. You want to explain or not?
Sure. Well, my apologies.
Step up to the microphone if you would, Bill.
Sure. I'm
Bill Reicher's the architect for the Cathedral project.
First of all, my apologies for not making the meeting last week. I was actually in Chicago that day. We're trying to arrange funding for that project and another one. And I thought it was Wednesday, it was Thursday, or Thursday it was Friday, or whatever. So my apologies for that. Maybe we could have answered those questions there. As far as the size is concerned, nothing's really changed as far as the size of the project. In fact, over the last year and a half, the costs have gone up. This is a $5 million investment in the community. There's nothing different about the plan from then till now, other than it's all new buildings, and not part new and part rehab. So, to answer the third question, as far as utilities, we have already arranged with all the utility companies how we are going to make the connections with those, and none of those are going to interfere with any of the street projects that are anticipated by the city at this point. All of the changes will be internal to the property itself.
Bill, thank you. The reason I had to go back to zoning, as you probably know, everyone, is that they struggled with getting the funding in the timely fashion. They missed a couple rounds of funding that they were hopeful. So because the PUD had a time limit on it to get started, we had to go back officially, and they had to have a new PUD approved to turn in with their package to the funding source. So that's the reason we went back through the process the other night, and it's here on tonight's agenda. And we still believe, the staff and I still believe, it's a very good project that's good for downtown, good for seniors, good for Cathedral, which has been a stakeholder in downtown Belleville for 100+ years. So we'll be voting on that a little bit later on in the meeting. At this time, we'll go into reading of the minutes. We have minutes of the regular city council meeting held March 18, 2013. What's your pleasure?
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the final minutes of the March 18, 2013 city council meeting. So moved.
Motion by Alderman Heisler, second by Alderman Kinsella. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to accept and have them filed signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Claims, payroll, and disbursements.
Yes, Your Honor, I move to have the claims, payroll, and disbursements be paid.
Motion by Alderman Anderson, second by Alderman Heisler. Any discussion on the claims?
I have a question. I thought we had an agreement that the police department was going to try to use Offenburg for parts. And I see we're still paying parts.
I think it's a matter of timing and it's a matter of cost, right, Donnie?
Yes, sir.
We agreed to certainly look at it. We have continued, but when they can't service us in a timely fashion and we got police cars that need to get back on the street, we're looking at timing and we're also looking at cost. And in some cases, as much as I love to do business in Belleville, we've had a few projects that Dave Klingler has proven have been significantly cheaper and timing-wise going with Mertz. So it certainly is the local product. But in some cases, we've got to do what's best for getting these cars back on the street and also the bottom line. Yes, sir, Mr. Hagan.
Yes, Your Honor, on tip number 10, the two payments, CDF Union LLC, $382,151.97. SAS Union LLC, $382,151.96, $764,303.92 total. Is that for the year's accrued interest, interest and principal?
I will yield to our finance director. Do you know, Jamie, off the top?
Our development agreement states that we will rebate 70% of the real estate taxes received in that tip back to those developers for payment on the notes. So it'll pay down first the accrued interest on the taxable notes, and then any remainder will go to principal.
So we are up to date with all interest payments, correct?
Yes.
And this is just one payment we make per year?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? We have a motion and a second to pay the claims, payroll, disbursements. If there's no further question, roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Holt. Anderson.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Carpenter.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Sillsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
Martinson.
Aye.
Elmore.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Arlen.
Motion carries. Reports. Zoning Board of Appeals.
St. Peter's Roman Catholic Cathedral will request a special use permit for a PUD on a city block by South 1st Street, South 2nd Street, West Garfield Street, and West Harrison Street. The proposed PUD is 2.272 acres and will consist of attached single-family multi-unit housing and a two-story 16-unit residential building for elderly residents in a gated community. The zoning board recommended this be approved unanimously.
I'll make a motion, Your Honor, to accept the zoning board and have appropriate ordinance drawn for this project.
Motion by Alderman Hayden, second by Alderman Sillsby. As stated in here, this is even in the deed for elderly. So it's very specific, just so you all know. I think it's age 55 and up, Bill? Or 60?
55,
I think so. But it's specified and it's in the deed as well as in the PUD. And for those of you, PUD is a planned unit development. And this is the way, the best way as our staff and the architect and everyone, the best way to do the zoning and all the dealings with all this. So this is the same package that we did before with slight changes to the fact that the old pants factory now would totally come down with this new updated proposal, and additional, all the buildings will be new. Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question just about the timing. It's normally standard in zoning when someone's not their representative to table it. I don't understand why.
Well, we did.
I understand why in this meeting.
No, but I'll be honest with you. They have a deadline real quickly to see if they can get in this round of funding. So to be a good neighbor, we always, you and I as being members of this council get accused of not being business friendly. We're being business friendly here. This had passed before. It's nothing nobody had seen, but we did this at Cathedral's request to get it on here quickly because they're under a deadline to get this application submitted And we feel like we're in a better position this time, and hopefully are going to be successful
Okay,
with
so
some
it
funding.
was to get their paperwork.
It was at a request for them to help them expedite this thing, because sometimes in life, there's deadlines that we don't know about until.
Okay, and so that's why this is the only one of them zoning that's on tonight, the rest will be on in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Okay. all right.
Okay?
And, Your Honor, this used to be in Ward 6 and it's now in Ward 5, and I don't think any of us four aldermen have heard any complaints or concerns with this
No,
project.
and I've heard no complaints either. This is a good project. This mayor and this council has endorsed it since the beginning, but it's like a lot of projects in today's, they got this thing going about the same time the bottom fell out of the economy. And so it's been on the shelf for a while. Hopefully it's going to move off the shelf and into a active stage of development, and it'll be good for Cathedral, and it'll be great for downtown. So we're all very hopeful. Yes, ma'am.
I have 2 questions. Do they have the financing now, or are they still looking for the financing?
The financing is still being worked on.
So this could be another 2 years before they...
We don't know, but if they don't get the application in quickly, we won't.
And who's paying to have the pants factory taken down?
At this point in time now, it's all part of their project.
So we don't have to pay for that?
We have not had any discussions at that point about that so far. They're waiting to see if they can get this financing and to see if they can get what they're requesting. They feel like their project's, I think, in pretty good shape. If they can't, then, will we have any more discussions down the road? I can't tell you it's impossible. At this point in time, there's nothing at this point in time that states that we're committing or they're not asking anything specifically for us at this time.
Well, it kind of might be nice if they keep us up.
They've been meeting with us regularly. It's just, this is.
Well, we didn't hear about, and I was at the zoning board meeting, and there was no information, so that's why the question.
Well, and as I told you, he admitted there was a miscue on the thing, otherwise he'd explain all this in further at the zoning board. Okay? It was not intentional, believe me. We have a motion, and yes, sir.
Mayor, what are the plans for where the building is they're going to take down? Is it just going to be parking, or what's?
It's another unit there, right, Bill? The one that goes up against the McCormick Center. Is there going to be a building right there?
Actually, that's going to be it's going to be a mid-block entrance into the block. All the parking is in the middle of the block, so that along the current wall of the McCormick Center, when that building comes down, that will actually be a drive-in.
Okay.
One of only 2.
Okay. All right, any other questions? I'd ask for a roll call vote.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer. Alt. Anderson.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Carpenter.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Silsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
Martinson.
Aye.
Elmore.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Arlen.
Motion carries. Treasurer's report, City of Belleville funds and statement of cash and investments for January 2013 and February 2013. What's your pleasure? So everybody jump at once.
Motion to receive, file.
Motion to receive and file by Alderman Marr, second by Alderman Seibert. Any discussion? All in favor of receiving and filing the treasurer's report, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Oral reports. I'd ask for a motion to approve the Insurance Program Managers Group, IPMG, to be the third-party administrator for the city's health insurance fiscal year 2013 to 2014, including the recommendation for the stop loss in aggregate. I'd like to ask for a motion first of all, then we'll have discussion and I'll explain some things. Do I hear a motion? Motion by Alderman Martinson, second by Alderman Meyer. First of all, before I entertain questions, let me explain a few things. Do you want to start, Jamie, or do we want to start with Mr. Chrysler? Or? Okay, then step on up to the microphone. This has been going on for, not every year, but every so often when insurance comes around and things are due. My finance director, Jamie Matrid, and our broker, Fred Chrysler, have been working on this and have kept me informed, and I guess let them explain how this came about and what's going on.
Thank you, Your Honor. members of the council. I just want to say in regards to what Mr. Norman said under the public participation. If you have a claim, you're still in the HealthLink network, so your doctors don't change, none of that stuff changes. But as far as the disruption, I don't really see the issue with disruption because VAS still has your claim they need to process. They're going to continue to process the run-out claims. So, you know, it's not like they're going to take VAS or IPMG is going to take over and then they're going to have to. They're not going to know what's going on a current claim. So their VAS will continue to process those run-out claims until they're all gone, and then IPMG benefits would process the new claims. So I just want to clear that up. But what we did is we went out and got 4 quotes for your health insurance. Of the 4, 2 quotes were the closest together that fit your self-insured program. One was the current that you're with, which is Benefit Administration Systems, and the other was IPMG Benefits. They're both third-party administrator, so they would do your explanation of benefits, they would set you up with a network and whatnot. We asked them to provide quotes, they did provide, each provided a quote. So what we did is we looked at those quotes, and they were very, very close. A couple thousand dollars apart. So we had to look at, you know, what else makes them special. The main thing that VAS has going for it is same old status quo. Nothing changes. It's the same, you know, the same service and everything that you're used to with VAS. The unknown that he spoke of is the claims consolidation. It's not really a product, but it's a claims system. What happens is IPMG is the claims people for the administrator for the work comp. So there's not right now. There's 2 systems. There's VAS has a system, and IPMG Claims has a system for your work comp. In theory, the fraud that could be extricated here is, for example, if somebody, you know, on a Saturday is playing basketball, they get hurt. They go to the urgent care center. They pay a copay. That goes into the claims, IPMG claims. They would get that. Then, if Monday or Tuesday comes and that same person would turn in a work comp claim, it goes into the same system because IPMG benefits is IPMG claims. So you can't double dip anymore. I'm not saying that that's going on, and that's what Mr. Owen was referring to. It could be no savings. We don't know. But, you know, I can tell you that the other cities that have used this, that have consolidated this, have seen significant savings. So, you know, I'm thinking that there's going to be something there. And why not take a look? If this year we're so close on premium, let's look at, well, what else can this offer? It's something that VAS just simply can't offer. So this is something that, since IPMG is doing the work comp, that we think that it would be a good fit and just have one claim. Because right now it is, you turn your claim in to VAS. If somebody were to turn in a work comp claim on that same injury to VAS and it would go to IPMG claims, there's really no way for them to, you know, they don't really talk. So this could be happening to the city, I guess is my point. So.
And I think without a lot of comment, we have seen, or we've questioned this in the past. Our staff has seen a few situations where we've, you know, kind of wondered if that possibly didn't happen. Just let me make it clear, first of all. Yes, we've had good service from VAS. I mean, there's no 2 ways about it. When we wait every year, ladies and gentlemen, till near the last minute, because to get the best quotes, we need to see what the most amount of claims are going to be. Get the most accurate. Sure. Correct, Brett?
Yeah, we have to know what the date is.
Yeah,
but
then once we make a decision to move, we got to move because we got to make sure if there is a change that our employees all have the new cards and everything they need by the 1st of May. So there's a hustling time now. When they came to us about a week ago, and we had the 2 final two proposals, we sat down, a number of us. And this particular big difference we thought was the potential difference was that this opportunity to maybe catch a safety net, as a lack of a better word, to maybe it's a service they provide that might catch possible some cases of accidental or really potential fraud, whatever it might be. And anytime we can save the taxpayers' dollars and save the city dollars because we're self-insured, we felt that that was a valuable situation to seriously look at and work towards. Like I said, timing is everything. With the work week this past week being off Friday, the packets had to go out late Thursday night. We had to have them ready to go so where they could deliver them Thursday night or Friday. I don't think they got delivered, I found out till Friday, but they were packaged up, ready to go at the close of the day on Thursday. So I guess it was that morning, Thursday morning, we made a decision. Wednesday night, maybe Wednesday night by 5 o'clock, but anyway, we had to make a decision. And we just based on this on the financial amount was basically the same. But we felt that this particular option, I think they all showed the administration here that there was some real benefits to potentially savings and protecting the taxpayers and city. So that's why this proposal is here tonight. I'll go with Mr. Elmer first. I think he has hand up first.
Could VAS administer our work comp claims as well?
They do not offer work comps, no.
Mr. Hagan.
First question, Your Honor. Why didn't this go before the Finance Committee?
Mr. Hagan, as I started to explain, and as you know, we didn't get the final stuff. This is not the first year this has happened, and we've explained this before. We didn't get the final claims until about a week ago. 10 days, it wasn't less than that. The timing of Finance Week was just in timeout. So by the time we got everybody in and started looking at this, this is not the first time that we've had to make a recommendation to the council. We're trying to get the best picture possible, and that's why they waited and got the last claims run in there, that we could see exactly where we were at.
My recollection, though, of this time last year was we approved a 2-year agreement. We approved a 2-year agreement, and this council was led to believe that we were approving a 2-year agreement with the broker, with the third party, and the provider. Now, we're here this evening, Your Honor, and the game's changed.
Jamie?
I
got it on tape.
I know we approved a 2-year agreement with the broker, and that BAS had agreed to keep their rate firm for 2 years, not changing their fixed rate. We're still with the HealthLink network. That's not changing. That cost is not changing. This cost with IPMG for the third-party administration fee is actually less than the fee quoted by BAS last year, and that they're holding with firm this year.
Less than what?
Right now,
what's the breakdown?
BAS charges $18 per person per month to administer the claims. IPMG charges $16.50 per month per person to administer the claims.
How much do they charge for this PPO access?
That's the HealthLink fee. That's $8 either way.
They're both charging that? And you're saying that BAS didn't provide any workman's comp?
They do not provide that service.
They're not able to. We understand, right?
That's not part of our business.
Right.
And that's where this extra $1.50 comes in.
No.
No, IPMG is less by $1.50. The services they provide for the workers' comp services are paid for through those insurance premiums, totally unrelated to this. But what we're trying to say is, if the same company is administering the workers' comp claims and the health insurance claims, they have all the information. They can see if something is happening where one person is turning in a claim for both. it's paid for by two separate sources of insurance premiums.
But
Both Cobra compliance fees are the same?
The other place where the fees vary is the other part of this motion, the stop loss carriers and the aggregate. What the stop loss is we're self-insured, but we pay the deductible on each person's claims up to $90,000 per year. If somebody hits over that, which has happened this year a few times, we have insurance that provides for anything, even $1 over $90,000, that insurance picks up. So we pay a premium for that insurance. And then there's an aggregate insurance which picks up if tons of employees hit not the 90,000 but say 50,000, and we hit a maximum of just over 4.9 million, that insurance picks up to cover a catastrophe for a lot of employees all at the same time in 1 year. So as not to bankrupt the city.
Are premiums going up
On those, do you know?
with providers?
Well, the fixed cost is basically the same, and that's what we're looking
Right.
at.
The fixed cost is made up of the premiums for those two carriers, the aggregate and the stop loss, as well as that $8 health link fee, the third-party administration fee, the COBRA fee that you talked about. Those two fixed costs were quoted, and IPMG was less by, it was about $1,900, I believe. For
So
fixed costs.
premiums for employees are going up on their...
1%.
1%. Because the cost for the carriers, the stop loss, the aggregate, from our current year did go up because we did, like I said, we had a handful of people that hit over the deductible.
Yet, we were let leave if we had a 2-year turnkey agreement on all three aspects.
I can also, the 2-year was only on the fixed cost, not on the insurance.
Yeah, not the aggregate or the stop loss, they won't guarantee for 2 years.
But that's what we were trying to say a year ago, but that's not what it was presented.
No, that's not what the contract was that we,
Where is the contract?
I don't have it here right now. I
The
mean,
one we're under currently,
Yes.
I'm sure it's in Linda's office.
Okay, but we were assured absolutely after going through multiple meetings, not just with every member of the council, but with the union reps, we took this apart and we were guaranteed it was a 2-year deal. And now we're having something, we've got to make a decision right now. I want to see the contract and we're going to pay a penalty for breaking it.
we're not breaking the contract. We still have the same insurance, right, Brad?
Yes.
Clearly, we have two competing businesses.
We have a different,
The two different, you're the insurance company.
we're the insurance company.
You have insurance on top of that.
We have insurance on
And
top of the health.
that costs money, that costs premium, and they did, BAS said that they would cap their fixed costs. Their third-party administrator fees, that's like the per person, per dollar per month. That was fixed, not the insurance though. Because if you have a bad claims year, which you did, of course that's gonna be more expensive. So it is what it is there. And I don't know, there was,
So you're saying our agreement with BAS was a 1 year?
it was a
And our agreement
2-year.
with you was a 2-year deal?
I don't know if there was an agreement with BAS. There was a broker for 2 years, which was us, and then BAS, they said, well, we will cap our fixed costs for 2 years, which they have, but not the insurance. They can't, that's like going to them and saying, hey, in a year, without knowing any claims data, we want you to tell us what the premium's gonna be a year from now, but don't take in, we don't know if we're gonna have a bad year or not. They just can't do that. I mean, I don't want to speak for them, but I'm sure that they're not going to do that. So,
That's not the way it was presented.
Absolutely not.
That's not
This is
the way
very
it was presented.
frustrating.
Not the way it was presented.
Well, there was
And
no,
then, so why have we not been brought into this before now? Why did this not come to committee?
as I told you, Alderman Holt,
Then
I
how
said,
did we have time to do it last year but not this year?
I think last year we went and bid out, right, Brad, all
Last year, we did the same, we actually did the same thing last year. Your claims were better last year, so maybe we started earlier, but, you know, when we still have to wait for the latest claims data to come in so that we can analyze it.
This just feels like another false crisis. We have to do it now, we have to do it now, and we don't.
Well,
We
do
knew
you
it
want-
was coming. We should have been at
This
least
is-
notified that it was being done this way. We weren't even, this is the first we hear of it.
We were doing this, Your Honor, on March 5th of last year, because you can go back and look at the video of March 5th is archived by Mr. White. It was clearly stated and led the public to believe in this council that we were in a 2-year agreement on everything.
So clearly, we had talked about it all through February.
And we could have been notified that you.
Would you wait to speak, please? Now, first of all, we just explained. When Brad came to us, probably in December, and explained to us that the claims were really pretty heavy this year.
Yeah, they were bad.
They were bad. And we were going to have to wait and to, you know, till close to the end of March to really get it accurate to see. Otherwise, we could have made a decision earlier, but we'd have had to then raise everybody's insurance because the look was until we got a final good look-see would have been probably to raise everybody's insurance several percent. Because the claims, we were patient, we waited, and when he finally got to us a week or so ago with the final numbers, that was when we first realized that, you know, what we thought we were able to do. Now, this is not the first year, through this process that we've had to make decisions or we've had claims that were a tough year and we've had to do this more or less at the 11th hour. This has happened numerous times in my 16 years here, and we waited patiently because we're trying to get the best deal. There's nothing that's going on here that's not correct or not being accurate, excuse me, but it's just a matter of timing. This year the timing was more difficult because we had a tough claims year. We had a lot of people, and when you're self-insured, if you don't monitor that closely, it can really tip the scales. I believe you were first.
Why no update then back in December? We still could have been, there could have been a memo put out to the city council saying, this is what's going on. This is the things that we've been asking, Your Honor, for quite some time. It is just to be informed.
We could have, Alderman Hayden, but then we could have had, you know, once again, we had nothing really to tell you other than the fact we don't know. We're monitoring it. It's not been a good year. And we don't know anything. So I guess if there's something I made a mistake on, or the staff made a mistake on, we didn't tell you soon enough that it was a tough year and that we didn't know the facts, that we weren't able to get a close judgment until farther down the road. So that's probably the thing that we're most guilty of. But we're trying to get the best deal. We got a 1% raise for all of us who take the insurance, which I think, considering the year that we had, and we can't talk about specifics there, but I can tell you it was a tough year. The fact that we only have a 1% increase is outstanding, and and like I said, these are two good companies working here, and that's what happens when competition gets involved. And this just didn't all happen really until it was last Wednesday, Thursday when this all came to a head. And you know, like I said, you know, we were at a little bit of a disadvantage this year, and I'm not blaming anything, but you all were well aware. Jamie was scurrying, you know, she had a very healthy baby, but didn't get back here. Thank goodness she came back when she did and was able. But we were at a crunch this year with the budget, with her having maternity leave and not coming back till the first of the year, basically. And it's been a little bit more. Now, excuses, you know, but this is the first year we've had this situation, and she does an excellent job with this budget. She works with these guys weekly, daily, and there was nothing that anybody was not necessarily included. We just didn't have any information to really tell you. To have a meeting or to set a meeting.
It's very hard with timing of claims. I mean, just last week, I monitor it every week, but there was one employee that hit over, you know, $50,000 worth of claims last week. They weren't even on the monitor as being close to the deductible until last week. You just don't know. It depends on If somebody has an illness, is in the hospital for a week, I don't know till we get that claim. I mean, there's no way to know months and months and months ahead of time what's gonna happen the final few months of the plan, and that's what really the insurance companies look at when they're quoting.
Alderman Schneider first.
Yes, but when this first started in December, a little memo could have came out and said, we're having problems, this is the scenario, what could happen? And then when you found out right away, we all pretty well have computers. We could have been emailed and notified.
You're right,
Here
Alderman
it is.
Schneider.
It's
You're-
right
you're-
at the
you're-
last
You're
minute now.
right, we could have or should have probably gotten you a blurb earlier, but we didn't really have anything to tell you, other than
But we
that
could have
we're
been
gonna be
told,
down, other than we're gonna be down to the wire.
but we could have been told that.
Okay, well, I
I mean,
apologize
this
for
is,
that.
no,
Okay,
this is not
Alderman
right.
Elmore, well, this is not
What is
quite
our-
the end of the world.
Mr. Chrysler, can you go into our claims loss ratio?
You guys have about $3.7 million in claims. So,
Compared to last year?
oh, it's about the same. I mean, it fluctuates, but I mean, that's what it is on the average, is a little over, almost $4 million a
The
year.
difference is last year, I think we had one employee that hit, maybe two that hit the $90,000 deductible. We're up to, I believe, 5 this year, or 5 that are either over or really close, and there's one that blew it out of the water.
So we can save $1.50 per month per employee,
From what we're paying.
provide a safeguard for double dipping as you explained.
Sure.
That's what we're voting on.
And that's what you're voting on tonight.
That's correct.
And the AS does not even offer this, so we obviously go to the IPMG, who's already handling our claims for work comp.
For the comp, yes. Correct.
Okay,
That's all correct and understood. Mr.
thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate you pointing that out, that we're saving $1.50. I think it's important.
Well, how many insured we have, Jamie, approximately 300 something?
355.
So you can, okay. Alderman Carpenter.
Thank you. Clearly I don't have any problem with what you're trying to do. The problem I have is we're overriding the legislative system. How long have we had committees in the city of Belleville, Mayor, since the first mayor? Probably. And I just can't accept this, that we're not following the legislative process. Now, if the governor overrid the House and the Senate in the state and tried to just push some kind of agenda like something like this, it just wouldn't happen. I don't know why this has to get pushed like this so fastly, that's the problem I have with it.
Well, as I tried to explain, timing is everything, and this particular thing, this is not the first time this has happened where we've come straight to council because of the timing of getting the budget done and trying to get the best picture and get the best facts to treat the employees and everybody in this budget the most fair. I guess we could have called for a special meeting on Saturday before Easter, but we had meetings scheduled for tonight, and we didn't find out, we didn't make this decision until virtually Thursday morning. That was when the decision was made. Dave?
Your Honor, I would like to call for the question.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. Correct, Mrs. Fields?
Yes, Martinson and Meyer.
Question's been called. I'm going to go ahead and call for a roll call vote.
Hold on here. There's other discussion, Your Honor. A motion to call for a question has to be second and voted on with a 2/3 vote to end debate. You just can't call
Okay,
for a question.
are there new questions? You have additional questions?
There's a hand up
First of
there.
all, do I have a second to the call for the question?
Second.
We have a call for a second. So we have a motion and a second to call for the question. Roll call on the question.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Holt. No. Anderson. Rudowitz.
Aye.
Carpenter.
No.
Hart.
No.
Sillsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
No.
Seibert.
Aye.
Martinson.
Aye.
Elmore.
No.
Schneider.
No.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Arlen.
Aye.
What do we got, Ms. Fields?
We have 10 ayes,
Motion fails.
6 noes.
It's 2/3.
I got the math. We'll continue with the dialogue.
Okay, I want to talk about the timeline. Is the current contract good
give to the employees.
It's
Or
open
they,
enrollment.
if somebody has an illness, or there's a problem at midnight on 12:01 a.m. on May 1st, and if they don't have their stuff in their hands, then there becomes a real nightmare for people being able to process their claims. So there is a timeline, okay? And that's why we're trying, that's part of the reason, and thank you for, that's part of the reason that they reminded us that we got to get this done, because Nancy would have to get these cards out quickly.
Okay, but what does that have to do with when we are issuing contracts of over $10,000? We got to do this. I know we have a broker.
And we did that. And he went and did it, as has been done in the past. We don't individually go out and bid.
We didn't see the bid sheet. We didn't see anything. And we have heard of protests from the company that currently has it. We do not have all the information to make the decision this evening. So,
Yes, ma'am.
I think we should leave it where it's at, and as Alderman Holt was saying, it should go out for bids. Were they the only Chryslers?
No, there was 4 people that he told me that they did.
They all go to the same, I mean, you could have 10 agents, they're all gonna go to the same companies. So you're gonna have the same, you're gonna have the
But we
exact
had
same
different
number.
agencies besides you.
No.
You do? Or
We've got a contract with our broker. We have a contract for a couple of years with our broker. On behalf of us, they go out and they make sure they bring forward the best deal for the group that administers the insurance policy, the insurance, okay? And that's what they did. They went out and got quotes for what they believed was the best deal. It came down to these 2 groups. They were the 2 best ones.
Well, since it's not that much of, it's only what, $350? Can't we just
A
leave it
person a
this
month.
year?
No, a person per month.
Yeah, it's $350 per month.
Times 3 minutes.
But
3 or something.
if we have a 2-year contract with the other company, we should stay with that. It's not showing that we're in good faith of doing things. We're just not sticking with what we're supposed to be doing.
We do not have, we don't have a 2-year contract with BAS. We have a 2-year contract with the broker.
It's a question of whether we want to save $1.50 a month.
$1.50 a month per employee
And
per month.
fight fraud also.
And also potentially be able to fight fraud, which was the big thing that caught our attention.
Well, I'm fighting fraud because you're not taking the legislative process, Mayor.
Mr. Carpenter, we're being very open here about the timing and what happened and why. There's nobody trying to pull any fast one other than we're trying to see if we can. We waited to get the claims, the best possible insight we could get about the claims, and then we brought it to you. We just got the information. Alderman Hayden, you're next.
Once again, Your Honor, I all for saving money, but the presentation that was put on March 5th last year led this body to believe it was a turnkey agreement across the board with the broker, third-party administrator, and providers. And there's even statements made that night by various people who presented things that you can't guarantee those rates. But we were led to believe that. Now I'm for saving the money, but I'm not for bypassing council committee, and I'm not for when I feel that we've been misled. We were misled last year. And that's why I can't support this.
But this is the way it goes all the time. It was the same way with buying the furniture store. Every deal we do, it's gotta be done right now. And that is not right. That's what we're here for. That's why we have committees. And this should have been, I mean, an email could have been sent out in December, so we would have had heads up. We could have had a special meeting in January. We're looking into this is the scenario, this is what could have happened. but we always know at the last minute. Just like the debate you said about the pool. Well, here's
Alderman
the
Schneider, Alderman Schneider, we're not talking about the pool right now.
But it's the
Alderman
last minute
Elmore,
thing.
I'll call for the question at this time. I think we got all the questions.
Is there any new questions? We'll put it to a vote. We have a motion and a second to vote to approve IPMG this year with the stated, it's going to raise the employees 1% because of the insurance, not because of that. And there's going to be a slight savings, and there is the chance with this new administrator to potentially could help stop and help curb the potential of catching any possible fraud. That's why we brought it forward.
We also made it clear it's just for 1 year.
It's for 1 year. 1 year. We have a motion and we have a second. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Carpenter.
No.
Hart.
Aye.
Sillsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
No.
Seibert.
Aye.
Martinson.
Aye.
Elmore.
Aye.
Schneider.
No.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Arlen.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion carries. I do want to thank, all the people here tonight. Mr. Hayden, I will tell you that, we'll continue to strive to continue to always improve communications, but trying to do what's best for the city sometimes takes a little bit of cooperation from all of us, and we thought tonight, by waiting to the final time to get the claims review, we could save a little bit of money potentially and see if this couldn't be worked out. And this was not intentionally to rattle anybody's cages. And even if it went to committee, we'd have had no more information to share with you than we had right now. This is as much as we have. There's no more discussion that really could have been added.
I appreciate that, John, but I will be going back and looking at that March 5th meeting, because I'm going to tell you what was said in the transcript that was given to the public, that there was a 2-year lock on rates of everything, and that's not what happened.
The motion carried tonight, and I thank the two of you for standing up and fielding questions. Oh, well, stand by here. I ask for a motion to approve Mutual of Omaha as our life insurance benefit carrier. Do I hear a motion? A motion by Alderman Martinson. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman, Seibert. Why don't you explain first of all here? This is pretty clear cut.
Currently, we have Standard Life, who provides life insurance for the employees as part of their benefit package. Like all the insurances, when they're up, Chrysler's agency goes out and gets quotes from other insurance companies. This year with the Standard Life, there was actually quite a few people that drew benefits this past year. I didn't mean to laugh at that nicely, but usually we have just a couple people that use that benefit a year, and there was 19 this past year.
We had 19 deaths
Right.
that were on the city policy. Now there's a lot of retirees and people who, but I mean, it was an unusual
It
year
was
for
an
deaths.
extremely bad year for the life insurance benefit. So Standard Life, who is our current provider, obviously raised their price based on the actual claims. And so when they went out and got quotes, Mutual of Omaha came in for, I think it was the regular $10,000 benefit. It went from $5 per employee per month to $3.10 per employee per month, which is about $24,000 worth of savings by switching those companies.
And we also felt, now we could say that we locked that in last year too, but that wasn't the case. And here's a chance to save approximately $24,000 for the taxpayers. And we certainly very strongly feel that those things were open in the second year to be negotiated or looked at, and that's why their due diligence and went out and bid those, and here they're saving the city $24,000 additional to what we saved on the other things. So we're trying to save money, and we did have to wait till the 11th hour to get all the facts, because it's when you want the best deal, it's like it's not. This is not maybe a great comparison, but it's like when you're investing or something. You've got to get the timing of things. And the timing of it was tighter this year, but we got a savings for the city. And that's what we're trying to do, okay? We have a motion and we have a second. Yes, sir.
I have to abstain from this vote. Contract with this company.
Okay, note that Mr. Elmore is abstaining.
Is it a savings of 24,000 from last year's cost, or savings of 24,000 of what we would have stayed with the same company?
24,000 this year.
So it's not 24,000 cheaper than
I
last?
think they went from $5 to $5.10.
Correct. You were taking an increase. You were taking an increase with standard because of the 19 difficulties, so.
And when we went out and shopped it,
Savings over what if we would have stayed with the current carrier? It's not, I just want to make sure we're getting facts here.
It's still a significant savings from.
Correct, I'm not just,
You
but
would have saved more.
the way you say things, you can make it sound like it was a savings of 24,000 over last year's cost.
It's the savings of 24,000 over this year's bids.
And the benefit is the same.
The benefits,
So we're
no,
comparing apples and
is
apples.
it actually, was it?
It's 10,000.
Okay.
And employees aren't gonna see a difference in that because most will never.
Right.
know who the
Thank goodness.
provider is.
But it is a $24,000 savings over what, if we'd have just rolled over the other one this year, there'd have been an increase. Okay? Okay, we have a motion and we have a second to change to Mutual of Omaha for our life insurance benefit carrier. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Holt. Anderson.
Aye.
Rudowitz. Carpenter. Hart.
Aye.
Sillsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. Martinson. Elmore.
Abstain.
Schneider.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Arlen.
Motion carries. Alderman Anderson.
Yes, Your Honor, on behalf of the Master Circuit Committee, I'd like to make a motion to approve the long-term control plan construction pay request number 33 for Clark Blue John 2-0 Wade Motion for a total amount of $821,392, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Anderson, second by Alderman Martinson. Do I hear discussion on this payment for the long-term control plan? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer. Holt. Anderson.
Aye.
Rudowitz. Carpenter.
Present.
Hart.
Aye.
Sillsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. Martinson.
Aye.
Elmore. Schneider.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Arlen.
Motion carries. On item D, before you make the motion, anyone, I would ask that we only, would make the motion only to approve Craig L. Gentry II. Please remove the second name. Got some additional information today, and I would not have brought that name to you before we had this information. So I'd ask for a motion to approve the solicitor's license request for Craig L. Gentry II to sell for Midtown Home Improvements. Motion by Alderman Kinsella. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Sillsby. Do I hear any discussion? All in favor of approving this one gentleman signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'd ask for a motion to approve holding the Allied Racing, these are yours? Next, okay, I'll do this one. Motion to approve the holding the Allied Racing Association 5K Run Walk previously approved for January 7th, 2013 to be held on March 24th and canceled due to weather conditions on Sunday, April 7th. Had to snow last week, so we had to change this. Starting and ending at the fairgrounds. This was approved before. We're asking. Motion by Alderman Kinsella. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Meyer. Do I hear any discussion? All in favor of approving this change in date signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Communications, Mr. Turner.
There are 4 requests. You wish them done collectively or separately?
I just want to make a point on the yellow enforcement on the back for the dates one.
Yeah, I saw
Road closure, I just didn't know if they.
What date is, what did they close?
Well,
They got, the USA got a letter, it's got 2012 date.
Oh, it's just a
That's
typo.
just, you just need to change that date on.
Okay, very good. Everybody note that? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Turner.
Communication. The Belleville Horse Racing Team requesting permission to hold a competitive cycling event in the city of Belleville on August 18, 2013 from 6:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. and to close the city streets downtown during the race. And there's a map showing the route. Turn the page. Communication from Beacon requesting permission to hold their second annual 5K run walk on Saturday, July 27, 2013, beginning at 8 a.m., starting and ending at Belleville West, and asking for the closure of South 17th Street for approximately 45 minutes from the start of the race. They're also asking for barricades, cones, and police assistance. C, communication from St. George's and St. Mark's Church requesting permission to close North High and East D streets near their church for a community safety day on Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And there's a map again in the packet about that. And D, communication from the September 11 Memorial Walkway of Southern Illinois requesting permission to hold their second annual 5K run on Sunday, September 8, 2013, starting at 9:11 a.m. with start-finish area on North 3rd Street between Huff Park and Franklin School, and requesting 1 or 2 police officers available for traffic control and traffic cones and street barricades placed in certain areas of the course.
I'd ask for a motion to approve these few communication requests.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Seibert, second by Alderman Meyer. Do I have any discussion? All in favor of approving these 4 requests signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no petitions. We have no resolutions. I'd ask for a motion to read ordinance number 7675 by title only.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Consilla. Any discussion on reading by title only? All in favor of that motion to read that ordinance by title only signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Ordinance number 7675, a zoning ordinance for St. Peter's Roman Catholic Cathedral.
Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Hayden to approve ordinance number 7675. Any discussion? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Carpenter.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
Martinson.
Aye.
Elmore.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Arlen.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do we have any miscellaneous or new business? Yes, sir.
Under unfinished business,
Okay.
a couple meetings ago, you had handed out this document, annual change in total eBay for tip number 16 for tax years 2007 to 2011.
Okay.
And you had staff handout, it had an asterisk after the one that said the Wagner property was reappraised by mortgage company mandate due to the loss of Fury, GMC, and Pontiac franchise. EV and the property was lowered 38.54% due to reappraisal. Did you, Your Honor, ever see that appraisal?
That was the explanation when we talked to Rusty Wagner.
So you never, that was just,
Well, we know that the tax bill went down.
right. So you never,
I'm sure they had to prove that at the county. They had to take that appraisal in, or they would not have entertained that with them on property.
I just want to state for the record, Your Honor, that we have FOIA'd the county clerk's office, the county board of review, and county assessor's office. And none of those 3 offices have the appraisal.
Then what was their explanation to you why the taxes went down?
We haven't got one.
Well, we were not involved in any of that, other than when we talked to the Wagners, when they were going through all the despair trying to save their franchise, told us that because the bank required, Regions Bank, I believe it was, required them to have a new appraisal for them to keep the loan going on, and it was on a case-by-case basis type thing because of all the difficulty they were facing with GM. They were told to get it reassessed. Now, you know, if this is continuing to be, as you know, since been sold and turn it around, and they got a lot full of cars, etc. I'm sure it will be assessed again in the future and probably would go back up when this economy and everything turns around. We trusted, but I don't know what they based their change on if they didn't have the facts in there. I have no idea. I was not at that, nor were we aware until after the fact that even happened.
I'm just.
And I don't think Mr. Wagner wasn't trying to, by any means, keep us out of the loop. He was trying to survive and not shut his doors down, because once he shut down for even a day, GM would never have renewed his franchise, and we would have never seen a GM Buick dealership in Belleville again. So he was fighting for his life and fighting for the city of Belleville. So, I mean, I don't know where you want to go with this.
I'm just pointing out that the information you handed out can't be backed by public.
Well, the information we handed out was the information that we were given.
But you were never given the appraisal.
No, I don't know.
That voided the
Was the
appraisal.
appraisal given in that loan stuff, Eric?
I voided the appraisal through the city, and the city's telling me they don't have it.
Okay, well then Eric would know. When they went digging, they would know.
You know, and I just, when we have a property that went down 38.54%, and I understand everything you're saying, and I have no animosity against any of these businesses, mayor or entities, but I just, when a property goes down that much in a TIF, when the object is for them to go up, and it's going to affect the money, what's that?
The property has gone up from when it was farmland, and it's going back up again now.
Initially, yes. Initially, when it's based at zero, yes. But the bottom line is the TIF right now, total property that can bring money into that TIF is down almost 18%. One particular is down almost 40%. And that is something that I think we should be concerned with.
I think that in answering your question, as you basically explained, we know why that was. He had his legs cut out from under him by a corporate giant and fought to hang on, and he kept a dealership or two dealerships, GM and Buick, in Belleville. Now Brad Joseph bought them. He's got a situation totally different. If you go out there and look, there are buku cars, and they're selling like crazy. So sales tax next year is going to be up dramatically, and I'm sure in a matter of no time, I'm sure the county's going to reassess them again. And we had nothing to do with suggesting or even until knowing after the fact that his bank told him he had to go and try to get his taxes adjusted to keep that loan going. That was a deal between Rusty Wagner, his financial people, and the bank. So we're reporting to you what we know. We gave you exactly what we had, Alderman Hayden. There's nothing to be hidden here, and as we know, the story has a happy ending, because right now they're selling cars, and those two car lots out there. But as I told you the other day, the 3 car dealerships that we managed to save this council, this administration in the last 8 years, we saved by working with all 3 of them. We're probably going to bring in $1 million minimal next year in sales tax from the 3 of them. That's pretty significant when you look at what that does for the general fund. Huh?
How many cars would that be?
Well, I can tell you that the one I know for 2 of them for a fact quoted me that this year they sold over $40 million of cars. Over $40 million, 2 of them. And they anticipate that that the Wagner franchises will have a very good year this year.
We get, what, 1%?
You get 1%. So if you sold $40 million, we got $400,000 from 2 of them this year. So we were over $800,000 in sales tax on 2 dealerships that we hung on to, and Wagner was not anywhere near that this past year, but it's climbing, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be no time until they're back up there in the same ballpark. So we have made some very good, sound decisions to keep sales tax in this city for many years to come. And those dealerships would have been gone, never back to Belleville. We were told that very clearly by top executives from car dealerships. Once they had been gone, we'd have never got them back. Yes, ma'am.
The only thing I have to say about this is why when I filled out my FOIA for the dealerships of Offenburg, well, it took Eric, 70 hours to go to the basement and check the contracts. We need to check our balances on these contracts. We don't know if they're keeping up, and we should be able to see, prove to us that they have this sales amount, because when it comes back from the state, our sales tax, it's one lump check. It isn't broke down by which businesses did what. And if our contract says they're supposed to be doing X amount of dollars and have X amount of employees, and we don't hold them to that, that is why we have contracts.
And as we told you, Alderman Schneider, a couple of years ago when the bottom fell out of the economy, the one dealer came in, we came to you, it's documented, we came to this council on executive session, and we explained that they requested some wiggle room and some understanding because they were facing difficult times. And we agreed to grant that. We're not oblivious to what these contracts are doing. Can we, as I told you once before, can we make certain and do things a little bit better? I think if we get a little bit more staff in economic development, or we get the staff, I think we can monitor some of these things. But there are boxes. I mean, when we did those deals with Wagner and Joseph, there's no two ways about it, huh?
And Offenberg,
And there is a lot of paperwork and a lot of files and a lot of things. And for Eric to release to you that data properly and efficiently, he had to spend a lot of hours re-going through all that stuff so that we weren't accused of missing something or holding something back.
but like with Offenberg, we could have, okay, yes, we understand you're having us hurt times, you know, it's hard. But so was the city. We could have said, all right, we're going to stop your payments until you get back to where you were, and then we will continue.
Well, as if you remember, and I think you were on the, well, maybe you weren't. When did you get on the council? 2011?
2 years ago.
Okay, you weren't here then. But when we talked in executive session, which now those meetings are public, we would have lost Mr. Offenberg had we not given some cooperation, some give and take. He would have probably taken his stuff.
We would have been given as long as we would have said, you know.
And you know what? It worked out. We did something right. He's got more cars down there now. He's doing a $350,000 remodeling job in his showroom as we speak. And he's had a heck of a year. He told me. He told me on the phone.
You're saying he told you. We don't see the proof.
I did call your secretary and ask you to be present at that meeting.
We didn't have, no, we never had a meeting. But I will tell you, you can't have a meeting with a developer or a businessman here and all of a sudden have 4 or 5 aldermen walk in unexpectedly, because then we break the open meetings rules and the Open Meetings Act. This is, well, but this is not, you know, this is not really, the staff and the administration will meet with these people and relay it to you. They don't want to, you know, if business owners are going to be grilled and put over the coals, they're not going to want to do business here.
If they're taking our money, then they need to meet the terms.
Believe me, we're making the terms of the agreements, and we made this work. And we went through we went through the worst recession since the Great Depression, and we've got these 3, and they're all selling a ton of cars right now. So I don't know what we're beating anybody up for, other than there should be some people patted on the back for all of us making this work with them, and for them being firm and being loyal to Belleville.
Okay, I have a question though. Apparently there was a new report that was due to the state today reporting sales tax rebate agreements. Did that go out?
I did a lot of research on this, talked to Mike Flynn. We had conversations with the state. Our 3 agreements based on the debt covenant, because that's in the debt covenant to share a portion of the sales tax for the 3 developments. Those are exempt from reporting requirements, and a letter has been sent to them telling that the only 3 agreements we have, they are being exempt.
We only have 3 sales tax exemption
Where
agreements.
we rebate sales tax back, yes.
And
Carlisle, Greenmount, Frankscott Parkway, and Parkway North.
And why are they exempt?
Because we don't issue money to the developers. We agreed in the development agreements and the debt covenants to share a portion of our sales tax to pay down those bonds. There's no rebate to a retail business or a developer. It's to pay down that debt. So those are exempt, and I have the paperwork that shows it. Okay.
And yet we're not responsible for those bonds. If they don't make the money out there, as we told you before, the city is not on the hook for those developments.
We share the sales tax that's generated occurring at those developments, no other sales tax.
And they put all the upfront cost, and they have to pay their taxes before they get the TIF rebate. We don't give them anything until they prove that they paid. So once again, as I told you, the Belleville taxpayers on those three particular deals they are not out a dime unless they choose to shop at those particular sites. And then the sales tax agreement or the 1% business tax is the only thing that's shared with those people. Okay?
I have a question about a completely different topic. Are we finished with this?
I don't know, you tell me.
Okay, I wanted to talk about 100 North 11th Street. And probably Mr. Flynn has more views. What is the city's relationship with that property?
It's a relationship. We had a hearing this morning in status, and we rolled it over to 2 weeks until April 15th in order to give the property owner, and I guess Belleville Historical Society, 2 weeks within which to give a written plan of renovation.
Yes, I don't understand why that's the city's business. The city does not own the property.
It's the city's business because if they want to renovate the property, we have a petition to demolish the property. We can either proceed to trial or the property owner can renovate the property. But in order to renovate the property owner is going to have to show how the property owner intends to renovate the property, who will do it, and when it will be done, and to ensure that it will be done in the next.
That we deal with?
Any defendant in a demolition case, whether it's an organization, individual, corporation, anybody.
Really, I'm asking a broader question than that. I'm asking, when the schools come in here and want to renovate a property, are you requiring them to show you their bank account? And
The schools, what are you
telling
doing?
No.
That's not the same thing. What are you talking about?
I feel like the city is being,
These are properties in Alderman Hope that are on the demolition list.
I understand that.
You have to understand that if they want to renovate, they have to establish to the court, all right, that they have a plan to renovate, that they are capable of renovating the property, and that the renovation will bring the property into compliance with all city codes. Well, we didn't have a hearing before the court. There's nothing to object to because there is no plan of renovation, and the defendant, the property owner, has no objection to presenting the plan. I think the property owner understands that he needs to do that.
I'm still confused. Are we talking about the gentleman who has it now, or is?
Well, the defendant is the gentleman who owns the property now, as well as the individual who says he doesn't own it because he conveyed it to him. There's two people.
Okay. That are claiming that they have ownership now.
No. The original defendant, in an effort to avoid liability for the demolition, conveyed the property to some innocent young fella who is now technically the property owner.
Right, and he claims he's put $25,000.
Or some amount of money, exactly, that he's done some improvements. You know, the city's position is that the deed of conveyance was a fraud, and that it's not a valid conveyance.
Okay. So where does that leave the first person that you say is the owner?
That leaves him as a potential party who's liable to the city for the demolition cost and the renovation, if he chooses to renovate.
Okay, and what is the city's position in regards to the Belleville Historical Society?
Really, they're not a party to the lawsuit.
Okay. But you are aware?
I'm aware of the fact that they're talking to the original owner in an effort to renovate the property and obtain the property to renovate it. And I suspect that the Belleville Historical Society is the actual entity that would be preparing the plan of renovation.
But
You
then
probably know that better than I do.
They're going to have to satisfy the court with the timeline and their plans.
Okay.
And that's been very straightforward from the beginning. We're not opposed to them. We're not opposed to them saving the property. But they're going to have to convince the court. Now, you understand, we had many complaints on this property for many years, and nobody...
I actually do question that. I heard from the president of the neighborhood association that no, that's not actually the fact. that
I
there are a few-
don't think, well, I think
Pretty documented.
I think you have a lady right next to you who's been an alderman for a lot longer and can tell you that the calls, and I can tell you the calls came to my office, and I think Bob Sable and the Shark Tank Tees here, and Jennifer Gaynor, Roger Barfield can tell you that property has been under question and has been conveyed to the city for a long time that it was in very bad condition. And what were we gonna do about it? And so.
Because of renters or because of supply or because of the actual physical condition of the building?
Probably all the above.
All of it.
It's something, but as you know, it takes time to get on the list, to get the judge, to even hear, it's a process that takes time. But now that it's this far along, and Mr. Benson Historical Society is interested, I applaud their interest. But they have to, if the gentleman gives it and we just say, fine, deed it over to them, and if it's 3 or 4 more years until anything can happen, until they can afford it, have the time or whatever, then that's not fair to the neighborhood either.
Are you just satisfied with anything they have done on any of your other properties?
The outcome, I thought, was tremendous at one property. I think the process and the communication was very challenging, but we can do better.
And that's what I'm thinking to work at.
Well, and I think Mr. Flynn, when I first called him, when Mr. Betts called me, I said, look, it's already on his desk. You need to work through Mr. Flynn. Well, I really don't want to work through Mr. Flynn. You don't have a choice. It's already in the process of the courts. Now, if you want to try to save it, I'll talk to Mr. Flynn, and we'll be cooperative. But you're going to have to do as they tell you. You're going to have a plan. You're going to have a financial plan. And you're going to have to come up with a timeline that you and your organization honestly believe that you can live with. Right, Mike?
Correct.
And that's all we'd ask on behalf of the citizens. We're not against it.
Every hoop that was put in front of us was jumped through, and then more hoops were added.
There's no more hoops been added.
What case?
Specifically, the case of the house on Washington.
It's just not true.
That's not true.
Sir, you asked for a certified letter stating that we had the money to do it. When you found out who had the money, you wanted the bank account. You asked for a certified letter, you got a certified letter, you were not happy, you asked for more.
No, I don't know who told you I asked for a certified letter. We asked for proof.
There is documentation on this.
I know. I know what we asked for. We asked for proof. We didn't ask for a certified letter.
But Mrs. Holt, once again, we're going back to the East Washington Street saga. If you really wanted to come down and talk about that, you could call me, and Mike Flynn and I would sit and talk to you. If you wanted to go back and rehash that, that doesn't really have to be.
No, I know.
And actually, Mrs. Holt, you called me several times and asked me about that property, and I always responded to you.
And I will say, during that process, Alderman Meyer made an excellent point that this group did not have a track record with you. That you felt the city had, in similar circumstances, been snookered by other groups that probably had good intentions, just didn't.
We never denied the good intentions, and like I told you.
But that doesn't pay the bills, I understand.
And the neighbors who have been putting up with this for a long time deserve, a timeliness. And that's what we're trying to do with the court, make sure that they're following some timeliness. We're working with this. We're not out to work against 100 North 11th. It's not the case. Alderman Carpenter?
This is about the property. Mayor, why aren't we working with the Belleville Historical Society and letting them use some TIF funds since they're renovating property in town? That is one big question mark I don't understand.
Well, first of all, as many times as Mr. Betts has come to see me, I don't know that he's even particularly ever asked for anything for his money other than working with them. We work with the lot we gave him over on Washington Street. We've cooperated.
I think Judy asked you for help with the work.
Well, Judy asked us with a deadline of a couple days, and Eric had a whole, she had a whole big grant she wanted written with no time left whatsoever, and Eric flat out didn't have any time to do a grant of that magnitude with a couple days' notice. It was not even fair, and she knew that. So that was not like we were not working with Judy, that was just an unfair, unreasonable request on anybody's part. But my point is, I don't think we've been asked. Now, if we are asked, it's gonna have to go to a committee, and we're gonna have to discuss it. That's something you wanna start to do.
Okay. Secondly, they had to pay $970 to the city for asbestos review on the East Washington property. Why are we charging the Belleville Historical Society, $1,000 when they're a non-for-profit group that is just here to benefit the city? I don't know why we can't waive any kind of fees if they're fixing up properties.
Yeah, we waived the fees and costs, but that was actually an actual out-of-pocket expense that the city had incurred, and I think it was the council's consensus that it should be repaid.
Yeah.
You might recall, I think there was a vote on that.
Well, I don't think we should help
We
hold them accountable as a
waived an awful lot of the attorney's fees, et cetera, on that case. We gave them the lot, but we didn't waive that out-of-pocket expense that we had to pay for that assessment. That we didn't.
Good. That's all.
Anything else under unfinished, miscellaneous, or new business? Hearing none, we're going to go to ask for a motion to pay the motor fuel claims in the amount of $6,268.58. 54 cents. Motion by Alderman Seibert, second by Alderman Kinsella. Note that was 54 cents, Mrs. Field. Any discussion on the motor fuel claims? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer. Holt. Anderson.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Hartman.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Sillsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
Martinson.
Aye.
Elmore.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Arlen.
Motion carried. We have nothing to do in executive session for tonight. I ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion
Second.
by Alderman Mocker, second by Alderman Anderson. All in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.